I am privileged to speak at this symposium. Thank you for inviting me. I would like to talk about the connection between ancient Israelites and Japan. I believe that a part of the lost tribes of Israel not only came to Mizoram, but also reached the Japanese archipelago. The present-day Shinto, the traditional national religion of Japan, is commonly believed to be a polytheistic religion with a belief in multiple gods. However, according to Yoshisada Amabe, the former priest of the esteemed Kono Shrine, Shinto was originally a monotheistic religion centered around the belief in one and only God. This God was referred to as Omototsukami, meaning the God of all origin, or Ame no Minaka Nushi, meaning the Lord at the center of heaven. Ikarimaru Watanabe, a renowned Shinto scholar, also states in his book that this God is the same as the biblical God Yahweh. Screen sharing. Zenichiro Oyabe, a Shinto scholar, provides in his book a detailed explanation of the similarities between Shinto customs and those of ancient Israel mentioned in the Hebrew Bible. According to Oyabe, Shinto bears resemblance to the religion of ancient Israel across various aspects. One of the fundamental teachings of Shinto is purity and impurity. For example, individuals who come into contact with the dead are considered unclean and must undergo a purification period of 7 days. This concept aligns with the ancient Israeli idea of impurity. The core principles of Shinto revolve around serving God and people with a pure heart and leading a clean life. Late Rabbi Eliyahu Avihail, the leader of Amshav, a research group in Jerusalem, discusses the descendants of the lost tribes along the Silk Road in his book, The Tribes of Israel. The final chapter of his book specifically addresses Japan. Rabbi Avihail revisited Japan 3 times for research, and during his second and third visits, I accompanied him and his team to provide assistance. They visited various Shinto shrines and found that the shrines consist of 3 parts: the outer court accessible to everyone, the holy place accessible to certain individuals, and the Holy of Holies accessible only to the high priest. Rabbi Avihail noted that these structures resembled Moses' tabernacle and the temple in Jerusalem. In the Holy of Holies within the Shinto shrine, there is no idol present. In Shinto, the belief is that God is invisible, and the tradition does not involve the creation of idols. Instead, a round mirror or a gohe that is wound with hemp and paper streamers may be placed inside the Holy of Holies. However, these objects are not considered idols, but rather symbols to signify the sacred nature of the space where God descends. This parallels the practices in ancient Israel, where the Holy of Holies in Moses' tabernacle contained 3 holy treasures: the tablets of the 10 Commandments, Aaron's rod, and the jar of manna, all placed within the Ark of the Covenant. These treasures were also symbolic representations and not considered idols. Japanese Shinto has a portable shrine called mikosi, which bears a striking resemblance to the Ark of the Covenant from ancient Israel. Both serve as a movable sanctuary, referred to as mikdash in Hebrew, representing the presence of God wherever they are carried. Atop the mikosi, there is a legendary celestial bird known as Ho-Oh, symbolizing the union of male and female as it spreads its wings. Similarly, the Ark of Israel featured two cherubim with outstretched wings. The genealogy of the Japanese emperors and their chronicles can be found in works such as the ancient Japanese chronicles, Kojiki and Nihon Shoki. Rabbi Marvin Tokeya, in his book, suggests that the genealogy of the Japanese emperors closely resembles that of the tribe of Ephraim, which was a royal tribe of the northern kingdom of Israel, mentioned in the Bible, First Chronicles. Although the names have been altered, the essential elements of the structure bear a striking resemblance. Therefore, I believe this is a solid evidence that the Japanese emperor originally descended from the tribe of Ephraim. The other tribes of the northern Israelites also might have immigrated to ancient Japan. Ise Jingu, located in Ise City, Mie, Japan, is considered the foremost Shinto shrine. In ancient times, it underwent multiple relocations within the Kinki area before finally settling in Ise. However, even after settling in Ise, the shrine continues a tradition of periodic reconstruction and relocation to neighboring lands, 20 years. This practice bears resemblance to the tabernacle of ancient Israel, which was portable and moved during the Israelites' journey through the desert after their exodus from Egypt. Both the tabernacle and Ise Jingu are constructed using wood, and the simple architectural configuration of Ise Jingu bears many similarities to the tabernacle. The Jewish Encyclopedia notes that the Holy of Holies in the Jerusalem temple had 12 steps at the entrance, and similarly, the entrance to the Holy of Holies in Ise Jingu features 12 steps. In the Israeli tabernacle, there was a curtain separating the Holy of Holies from the holy place, and similarly, there is a curtain between the Holy of Holies and the area where people can pray at Ise Jingu. One of the Ise Jingu's originals in its relocating times, Kono Shrine, located in Miyazu City, Kyoto, near the Japan Sea, holds a fascinating legend associated with its origins. According to the legend, in ancient times, there was a ladder connecting heaven and earth, and gods were ascending and descending upon it. Kono Shrine was constructed as the house of God, and the ladder eventually fell down, forming the Amano Hashidate sandbar in the sea, which is renowned for its picturesque scenery. This tale bears resemblance to the biblical story in which Jacob saw a ladder between heaven and earth in a dream, with angels ascending and descending upon it. Jacob referred to the place as the house of God. The story of Abraham and Isaac is also preserved in the Shinto festival. Suwataisha, located in Chino City, Nagano, is a shrine situated at the base of a mountain known as Moriah, which shares its name with the Temple Mount of Jerusalem, also called Moriah. That is Moriah in English. Around 4,000 years ago, Abraham brought his only son Isaac to the land of Moriah, and attempted to offer him as a sacrifice there. At the front shrine of Suwataisha, there stands a building called Jukendo, which strikingly resembles the tabernacle of ancient Israel. The Jukendo's Holy of Holies, the mikosi ark, is placed on the day of the festival, April 15, in the western side, mirroring the arrangement of the Israeli tabernacle. The Jukendo house matches the Israeli tabernacle in terms of size, orientation, construction, and purpose. In the Jukendo, a boy was bound with a rope to a pillar of about 1.5 meters long and placed on a bamboo carpet. A Shinto priest brought his knife down towards the pillar, creating cracks just above the boy's head. As another priest arrives on horseback, accompanied by the loud ringing of bells, the boy is freed. Subsequently, the boy rides on a horse and is celebrated on the local community as the source of their blessings. This ritual mirrors the story of Isaac, who was bound with a rope and placed on a pile of firewood for sacrifice. When Abraham lowered his knife, an angel intervened to prevent harm. Isaac became a symbol of blessings for nations. Today, Suwataisha annually performs a simplified version of this festival, known as Ontosai or Misakuchi Festival. Prior to 1871, the complete ritual was carried out. The term Misakuchi is believed to derive from the Hebrew words Mi Itzak Tin, meaning from the story of Isaac. After Isaac's release, Abraham discovered a ram caught in a thicket by its horns and offered it as a sacrifice in place of Isaac. Abraham referred to the ram as the one that God had provided. Similarly, during the Misakuchi festival at Suwataisha, they had conducted the sacrifice of deer until 1871. In ancient Japan, there was no sheep, which may explain why they utilized deer, a kosher animal, instead. They sacrificed 75 deer, but every year they would find a deer with a split ear. This particular deer was considered special, believed to be the one that God had provided. It's possible that the ram sacrificed by Abraham also had a split ear due to the thicket it was caught in. I used to wonder why 75 deer were sacrificed at Suwa. Furthermore, Suwataisha used to perform 75 ceremonies every year, showing a clear preference for the number 75. Interestingly, our Bible provides different accounts regarding the number of people who went down to Egypt with Jacob. In the book of Genesis, it mentions 70 individuals, whereas in the New Testament, Stephen's preaching in Acts chapter 7, verse 14 states that Jacob went with 75 people. This difference arises because Stephen was referencing the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible. Additionally, the Samaritan Torah, which was used by the 10 tribes of Israel, also mentions the number 75. It appears that there were two distinct traditions regarding the count, 70 and 75, and both could be correct, depending on whether one includes concubines or children of concubines in the tally. Regardless, the number 75 held special significance for 10 tribes of the northern kingdom of Israel. The number 5 holds significant importance also at Shirahito Shrine in Mima City, Tokushima, Japan. The shrine follows a tradition where 75 carefully selected parishioners serve as protectors of the shrine. Additionally, the shrine celebrates a festival where the mikosi ark, resembling the Israeli Ark of the Covenant, is carried up to the mountaintop on the 17th day of the 7th month. This event brings to mind the story of Noah's Ark, which on the mountains of Ararat on the 17th day of the 7th month. Chapter 8, verse 4. According to Professor Avigdor Shachan, the Jewish synagogue in Kaifeng, China, which has a tradition associated with the lost tribes of Israel, also has ever protected by 75 parishioners. The number 75 must have been characteristic to the lost tribes of Israel. Indeed, the real shrine of Shirahito Shrine, called Iwasaka Shinmei, is constructed by stacking natural stones on a hill, creating a visual resemblance to the high places of ancient Israel. The high places were elevated locations where religious rituals and offerings were performed in ancient Israelite worship. In Japan, there are religious mountain practitioners known as Yamabushi. While they are currently associated with Buddhism, other Buddhist countries do not have the custom of Yamabushi. The tradition of Yamabushi did not originate within Buddhism. A Yamabushi wears a religious black box called tokin on his forehead with black cords, which bears a striking resemblance to the Jewish tefillin or phylactery. Only Jews and the Japanese practice the placement of such a religious black box on forehead. Additionally, a Yamabushi blows a conch shell horn, the sound of which closely resembles the Jewish shofar. If one were to encounter a Yamabushi, they might mistakenly assume that the individual is a religious Jew. In Japan, there is also a legend of the Tengu, depicted as a mountain deity with a prominent long nose, distinctive facial features, and dressed as a Yamabushi. The Tengu is considered a mountain god. The name Tengu likely originated from the Kyrgyz or Central Asian word Tengri, which refers to a mountain god. On the mountain, the Tengu is said to bestow the sacred scroll known as the Torah scroll upon ninjas. the Torah scroll could potentially be a lingering memory or connection to the Torah scroll. The Torah scroll itself is not found in Japan because in 645 CE, a civil war erupted between Buddhists and Shintoists, resulting in the burning of the Imperial Library by the Buddhists. Consequently, many significant scrolls were destroyed. However, following this event, power was restored to the Shintoists, who began to govern Japan and issue imperial decrees. Joseph Heidelberg, in his work, The Biblical Hebrew Origin of the Japanese People, identifies 13 striking similarities to Moses' laws among the imperial decrees. This suggests that the ancient Japanese may have had knowledge of the Torah. I believe that some of the lost tribes of Israel reached Japan today, not having enough time though. Under the study of the DNA of the Japanese, I think that nearly 40% of the Japanese are descendants of the ancient Israelites. Thank you for listening. Do you have any questions?
Okay, any questions for Arimasa Kubo? Yeah, maybe you can come here and so he can hear you well from here.
Hello, I have a question. Could you please talk a little bit about the script, the Hebrew Paleo script and the Japanese script, you know? The similarities and the similarities between the Hebrew script and the Japanese script. The Hebrew script as in the Paleo Hebrew script.
I'm sorry, the voice is muffled and I did not understand.
Okay.
You mean the Japanese script?
Yes. The similarities between Japanese script and Hebrew script.
You mean Japanese language?
Pardon?
Japanese language?
No, letters.
Letters.
Letters. Oh, yeah. Okay. We have Chinese characters and also Japanese, two kinds of characters. One Japanese character is hiragana and one Japanese character is katakana. Both are considered having similarity to Hebrew letters. Joseph Heidelberg, a Jewish researcher, found many similarities between Hebrew letters and Japanese katakana and hiragana scripts.
So I have a question. Again.
My question is, how many people in Japan accept they have been descended from Israel? You say that nearly 42% of Japanese might have been descended from Israel. How many people do you suppose to accept it? Whether those people who accept this may be confined to Christians, or do the non-Christians also believe their Israelites connection?
Okay. I believe that I said about 40% of the Japanese descended from ancient Israelites, but the theory believers are increasing, but I think only a few, maybe 1% or 2% of the Japanese considering that the Japanese descended from ancient Israelites, because to know the similarities and to know the connection between Israelites and the Japanese, we have to know the Bible and also Israelites' history and also Japanese customs and traditions. In these days, Japanese people are forgetting old Japanese customs, and also there are only 1% of Christians in Japan who know the Bible, and 99% of the Japanese do not know the Bible, so they don't have the knowledge. So they can't find the similarities or connection between the two nations. But I often upload the video of about the connection between the Israelites and the Japanese, and many people are watching. So the people who are interested in are very much increasing.
Right. The outside of the Bible, outside of the Christians, what is the Genesis? What is the how people believe they descended from whom? What is the remote ancestry of the Japanese, according to the historian?
Okay, we have a very old book, Kojiki, which was written in the 8th century. It was the oldest existent book in Japan for the history of Japan. And the Kojiki says the Yamato people, the Emperor and Shinto tribes came to Japan from heaven. It's a mythological. It's a mythology, but many people don't believe that the Japanese came from heaven. They might come here to Japan from somewhere else, but Kojiki says the heaven is called Takama Gahara, which means Haran of Takama, Hara of Takama. The Bible says Abraham and Jacob once were in Haran, today's Turkey, and Haran was Haran is located in Togama region of Turkey now. So Haran of Togama. Maybe we believe that Takama Gahara, the heavenly realm, used to express the Haran of Togama, where Abraham and Jacob once stayed.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, this is going to have to be the last question because we have another speaker afterwards. One more, Arimasa Kubo.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you for your teaching. That I want to tell you that we are Mikirs. We are called Mikirs in the northeastern India, and I believe some relationship maybe with our tribe, and some are in Japan also. So I heard that some Christian missionaries came to our place and told that even your Mikir people are in Japan also. Maybe some similarities are there. Do you find any such similarities? Suppose now we are going to do the research work and we have come to know that we have many parallelism, many identical similarities that with the Jewish people. So already you have shown the pictures that because all these things, maybe if we have some relationship, the Mikirs in the northeastern India and in Japan also, the same tribes, then I would have firm belief that really we are Jews, that there will be an evidence from Japan.
Okay. Seeing all of you, I feel very similarity and familiar to you because you do not look like other Indian people, but all maybe more looking like the Japanese. And also I think I hear that Mizoram people came from Shinlung, the same as Shinlung people in Myanmar and North India. And Shinlung people, according to Rabbi Eliyahu Abihail, came from northern China, northern part of China, and they were persecuted, and they came to the south and came to Tibet and also Mizoram and also Myanmar. And we know that the Japanese tribe Hatta clan came to Japan in the 3rd or 4th century CE, and they are considered Israelites who had converted to Christianity when they were when they were living in the continent near the Central Asia or China. I think that Shinlung Mizoram people and also the Hatta clan who came in a large group to Japan were once one tribe, and they were parted into some people went to Japan and some people went south and came to Mizoram or Shinlung and also Myanmar, North India, and also Xiamen in mountainous area of China. I think we were all once one.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
again, we heard that our ancestors believed that our ancestors, that means God, or that our ancestors were gods. They came down from heaven. This kind of belief that we have till today. So even in Japanese, the Shintoism, if something falling down from heaven, that means some similarity I see. That already you have said that the Japanese do not come from heaven, but it came from somewhere else. But here in Mikir people, they believe that our ancestors came down from heaven. But actually not all our ancestors, but the God, we believe that Lord came down from heaven, like that in Sinai Mount. So such kind of some similarity do you see in your people, Japanese belief? Say the Lord came down from heaven, or our ancestors came down from heaven. That means the Lord was our God, our ancestors, like that. That kind of belief. Do you have any such kind of similarity in Japanese belief?
He mentioned that he thought the ancestors came.
That means we have 3 ancestors. 2 are male, 1 female. Tempu Mukrang Rasenja. Tempu is Lord. Our word, the meaning for Lord. And Mukrang, maybe Moses, or Rasenja, Miriam, maybe, but the name transformed. So these 3 leaders were our Mikir people, the ancestors. And they came down from heaven. We heard like that. our
Mm.
till we have this teaching. So something that coming down from heaven, do you have any similarity you see?
Yeah, that's nice.
If it's okay, I could put you both in contact so you can continue the conversation. Because we have,
Oh, yeah.
Dr.
Oh,
Nagami.
yes, yeah, yes, yeah.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Arimasa
Yeah,
Kubo.
yeah, thank you for talking.